Good afternoon to you from Newent District Rotary Club. What I hope to show you today is what we've been doing for the last, let's say, 9 months in my year, maybe a little bit before that as well. COVID has certainly affected the way that we do business. We're all on Zoom. We're a bit more on Facebook. But hopefully, as we stand in March 2021, perhaps we're a bit more in the community eye. COVID didn't affect some far distant city on the other side of the world that often attracts a Rotary project. It happened to us here, right on our doorstep, in Newent and the surrounding villages. If you recall, back in March last year, between let's say March and May certainly, if you went on the internet, probably if you were older, you didn't have a smartphone, then you were pretty stuck initially for shopping, medication, and just the general basics of life, including, of course, company. So, what happened to us from July onwards? Well, we looked after ourselves initially, and that wasn't wrong. We have a great bunch in Newent District Rotary Club, and there's good fellowship between us. That was mightily important to retain in order just to come out of the other side of this with a functioning Rotary Club. Those were my thoughts as we progressed from March to July last year. By July, it became pretty obvious that the COVID outbreak had affected us all. And once we got over the initial shopping, medication, deliveries and things like that, and the toilet rolls, obviously, then it became more important just for our Rotary Club to provide a bit of normality. And we did that in a few ways. We got out in the heat, if you remember, back in September, and we helped on a gardening project that you'll see in a moment. We did Children in Need. We didn't do it like we did it last year, that's for sure, but we did Children in Need in our own way, and you know what? It was actually quite successful. What else did we do? Probably the biggest change we made, I feel, to our community locally, other than helping out with the vaccinations, was to do Santa's Sleigh. Santa's Sleigh we've done for the last 20 years. If you give it a couple of minutes, Clive will give you a presentation on Santa's Sleigh. But I do remember the council phoning us up one day saying, "You will do Santa's Sleigh, won't you? The kids need Santa's Sleigh." And we did it. With the help of the police and their advice, and the Forest of Dean District Council COVID officer and his very helpful advice. If you ever get to see this, thank you very much indeed for what you did for us. So in essence, what on earth happened in our world to take us from this to this, and even worse, from this to this? Well, we all know what happened. And then it's a case of, what are you going to do about it? And as I said, we looked after ourselves. First of all, we met up, we had a picnic, and that was the first time we'd seen each other probably since March in 2020. We did a couple of other bits and pieces. We made use of the rule of 6, and we kept that fellowship. And certainly, fellowship is important to a number of our members, very important. And then it was a case of, let's go out and do the garden project. Can we do it? I'm going to sound like Bob the Builder now. Yes, of course we can. And then children in need, that was a bit more difficult. That ended up as a 2-3 man job, getting the merchandise to the schools, because the schools wanted the normality as well. The kids wanted normality. Pudsey is always there every November, and that's what we did. We've got Pudsey down in the cellar here, the costume, but he wasn't allowed out, but he did go on Zoom, and he did thank the schools that had put in so much effort to raise some funds. And that was the normality we tried to get back again for Santa's sleigh. So, over to other members of the team to tell you what they got up to. Back to you in a minute.
Our photographic slideshow here overviews the project by Newent Rotary Club acting in the community at Shepherd House Day Centre, Newent, which is the Newent Association for the Disabled. A key part of the project was listening carefully to the briefing and user requirements as explained to us by Vanessa Millard, the services manager who has the responsibility for all garden areas at Shepherd House. Our works were very much appreciated, and the director at Shepherd House, Lyndon Biddle, expressed his sincere thanks, and I quote here, "I would like to thank you all and all of your teams for their hard work on our garden and the phases that you carried out. It looks fantastic. Thank you all so much." On completion of the phase 2 of the Shepherd House works, Vanessa went on to say how grateful the Shepherd House team are to Newent Rotary for their hard work, for finishing the extension of the wheelchair-friendly path in the garden, for both phases of the works, and look forward to continuing our close relationship in the future. The timing of our team's works was spot on, in that we were able to complete the works in September 20 and ahead of our original schedule without incurring a drop of rain. The garden then benefited significantly from subsequent watering. All of this work was carried out when COVID-19 restrictions allowed. Our photographic slideshow here overviews the project by Newent Rotary Club acting in the community at Shepherd House Day Centre, Newent, which is the Newent Association for the Disabled. Our Newent Rotarian team, who took part in the execution of our recent ACO GeoGrid garden wheelchair-friendly access pathway, comprises many complementary skill sets which came together to deliver a series of works to the garden of Shepherd House. Phase 1 of the project comprised laying out a wheelchair path, construction of an arbour, fencing and seating to various parts of this tranquil garden. This was so well received by all the users of Shepherd House that our Phase 2 project was then conceived. Phase 2 comprised the extension of the wheelchair-friendly access pathway to form a loop and a walkway continuously throughout the garden.
Hello, take 25. Here we go. Right, my name's Neil Albinson and I was Newent Club President 2019 to 2020. In my year, we adopted Children in Need as our main fundraising event. We had a great time doing it. We raised a lot of money. We visited hospitals, we did supermarket stalls, we had a very successful country file ramble, which was mainly organised by a senior Rotarian in our club, Brian Robbins. And like I say, we had a great time doing it. I'll show you a few photographs which hope portrays the fun that we had. Bruce Fowler, who this year has a totally different circumstances and did an amazing job, and he still raised a lot of money. How he did it is beyond me, because he couldn't go into the schools, he couldn't go into the supermarkets, but he still managed to drop the merchandise off, and the butcher shops sold big bears, raffled big bears off. He did an amazing job. So the comparison between the 2 years will probably be evident in what I'm about to show you. But nevertheless, children need gain from our club. And that's something I'm very proud of, and that's something that the club is very proud of. So I hope you enjoy the videos, and here we go. Well, this is me after we collected the Pudsey merchandise from Paul Fisher. This is Paul Fisher. Paul Fisher is the UK coordinator for children. And this is the rest of the merchandise which my granddaughter kindly sorted for us. You will now see Pudsey opening our fun day. So Newent Rotary had a fun day to try and recruit some new membership and some drum up interest, and Pudsey again was the star of the show. So that was a great day. Now this, believe it or not, is our president's wife, Jude, and the president is there as well, giving her a big hug before they went out onto the school and to meet the children and have a wonderful time, really. You can see how popular Pudsey was and how easy it was for us to get amongst the kids and have a good time and really show what children needs about, because he's just like a Father Christmas, really. He was so popular and we had such a wonderful time going into the schools. He actually gave away some awards, which you can see now. He was there on their award day, and here he is just enjoying the company of the children. Our next stop was Gloucester Royal Hospital. This is a few likely lads of the Rotary Club, and this is our good ladies who were in the foyer collecting money for children in need. The whole club was involved with fundraising, and that's Jeremy, who was raffling some odd bears. We raffled about 10 bears in all, and this is a lady who I'm not sure what her name is, bless her, but she did win one of our 10 Pudsey bears, which raised over £1,000 because we were raffling for £100. Now you'll see Pudsey in there somewhere at Newent Carnival. He was very popular that day, and always a good draw for the children. Now we're on to our country file ramble. That's Hynham Court you just saw there, and a few brochures, the BBC Country File Ramble. This is Brian Robbins. Brian was our main coordinator. He was the director of the whole thing. He did a brilliant job, and of course the whole club again supported him. So he looks good in front of the camera, old Brian. And then we have Pudsey arriving in style in a kit car. That's, believe it or not, the gentleman Acker Pudsey is none other than Bruce Fowler. So we were a bit warm that day. We had a police escort. We had hundreds of people turned out that day to support us. Very good. Look at that, lovely smiling faces, and a very popular event. And we sold merchandise in Hynham Village Hall, and the family, all the families really were there. I don't think anybody missed out on our Country File Ramble. Brilliant, just brilliant. So you can see by the smiley, happy faces, there's some glamorous mums there enjoying it. The children will be in the photo in a moment. Look at that lot. There they are. Closs Hynham Court, the lovely grounds of Hynham Court. It's very kind of Roger Head to let us use it. And there's a big shout out for 2020. And there we are. There we are at the end of the year, saying goodbye.
Well, hi, this is Rudolph, aka Clive Gardner. How did the sledge start? How did the sleigh start? If I remember correctly, it was back in Gloucester, helped my father-in-law with the Gloucester Rotary Club, and I used to drive the Land Rover and the trailer, and they used to use one of my industrial units for assembling it, and I got involved there. Then the next minute, Ray Bell, he invites me to Newent Rotary after I moved here, and I suggested, to my detriment, that to have a sleigh. So they said, brilliant idea. And as I'm a carpenter, and then I had wood supplied by Nick's Timber, i.e. aka Chris Drury, he gave me all the wood, and then Paul Gurney of Gurney Butchers, aka Paul Gurney, said, I've got some speakers. And as a carpenter, I just made it up and sprayed it and made it to fit on the back of my pickup truck. And I supplied the music, and then we got a generator, and away it went, really. We had lights supplied by Rotary, and it looked very well. So we only did Newent, 2 nights in Newent, no problem. All the lights are blasting away the music. Unfortunately, it's expanded to 5 nights now, and we cover Hynham and Tiverton, and I do a sideline at Dimmock they don't know about. But I do enjoy it. It's a really good time to have, because it's a lot of hard work getting it down from the roof, the sleigh, and feeding the reindeers and things like that, and they're strapped to the side of my pickup truck. But to see their faces as they come down the street, the kids, it's just a joy. It really is. And the most important thing to me is a parent said to me, we know when it's Christmas when Rotary's Santa sleigh starts coming down the streets. And that made a lot to me. Anyway, this year, or last year in fact, President Bruce decided that can we have it, can't we have it? Yes, let's do it. I said, let's do it. We have to do it as safely as we could possibly do, with 6 helpers only, all masked up. We had to tie buckets onto the sleigh so we couldn't knock on the doors. You had to tie them on there. And I thought, how can we, Santa, get Christmas chocolates to the children? Why not build 2 chutes? So I put 2 chutes down both sides, which I must admit worked fantastically, because the children just held their hands under, and there it was. They could have sweets in their hand. Just fantastic. Really good fun. And the other thing is, we use Facebook and Glimpy, I don't know what it is even. But all of a sudden, everybody knew where we were. They followed us on this app, and they were all ready for us. All down the streets, lined up each side, all spaced out. It was just fantastic. We had a great time. But it was the advertising that did it, really, because that helped to know where we were at a certain time. And it was just great. The other thing, which not a lot of people know about, that I have the sleigh to do the Christmas lights at Newent. I shouldn't really tell you this, but I sneak off with the sleigh, and Father Christmas turns the lights on in Newent. Also, I do one at Dimmock, where Santa is taken to Dimmock in my sleigh, and he opens up the Christmas show over there. The summer thing that I do with the sleigh is my youngest son had his school prom, and I couldn't think of what to take him in. I wasn't going to take him in. They had big tractors and things like that. I'm thinking, what can I take? I know, we take the sleigh, and we have all the music, and then all his friends want to go on the sleigh. Well, he's dressed up in a pink suit as Willy Wonka from the Chocolate Factory, and he had a pink suit, pink top hat, pink cane, sitting there with all this Christmas music belching out as we arrived at this hotel, and all his mates, 6 mates, all sitting in the trailer waving at the crowds as we came into the school. And just to say, he did win first prize. Whether it was the sleigh or whether it was the pink suit or the cane, I don't know, but it's just brilliant fun. And every year I just have so much fun, and we've got as much as up to £2,000 now, and I think that's absolutely fantastic for a small club like ours. Oh, and P.S. there's a short video of us going round with the sleigh one of the wives has taken in Tiverton, and you'll see what happens every Christmas.
Bye, Santa!
Well, that's a wrap for me, and next coming up will be some photographs of the said sleigh and us going round all the Rotarians from Newent.
that's enough from me. I hope you all have a really good year next year, and I hope you can see that just having a full programme just keeps the club together. It helped us get out there. We did some really good things that I'm proud of, and I'm especially proud that members from our club got out and helped with the vaccinations. That for me is what Rotary is all about, certainly. Lastly, I suppose a couple of things to point out. My hair's long, but then yours probably is too. And I'm wearing the chain of office. And I'm just doing that because it's the only time in my presidential year that I've worn it. Have a good year. Bye-bye.